So I just got through watching Us again for the second time, excuse me. And I wanted to do this movie review because I saw a lot of people like very confused about what they just saw, what they just watched. And I'm like, really? Because I saw a lot of messages and it's pretty deep, guys. Like, when I tell you this man, Jordan Peele, is such a genius. Like, he is literally like spilling so much tea in here. Let me fix the camera a little bit. Okay, he is spilling so much tea. So one of the first things that I've noticed because I came in there watching this movie basically with my third eye open. Like, I was like, no, like, I just can't come here and watch it for entertainment, because if I'm gonna sit here and watch it like entertainment like Us, then I'm going to sit here and be confused. Like, I wasn't laughing a lot. The husband really pissed me off a lot of the times, and he actually stood for the masculinity of a black man, and I don't know, an educated black man at that, and like how weak he was and how whitewashed he was, but we'll get into that later. I wrote down a list of things that I wanted to talk about, things that stood out to me in the movie. So in the beginning of the movie, of course, you see Lupita, I can't think of the name right now, so sorry guys. Like, I didn't write down names, but obviously, if you saw this movie, that's why you're watching it. So I'm not gonna go through the names, I'm not gonna go into details of what happened, because obviously you guys already know. So one of the first things that stood out to me is the fluoride comment. The girl was on her phone a lot. The untethered girl was on her phone a lot. And in the car, she said, you know, oh, did you know that the government tried to do these experiments to control humans, and they put it in the water, blah, blah, blah. Fluoride, I've had a thing against fluoride. Like, it's been pushed upon me and my child that we need to use fluoride because it's good for your teeth, but fluoride causes a lot of other negative things as well, and it's been speculated that fluoride is not really good for you, and that they're putting it in the water. And yes, like, my dentist even told me, like, it's okay that you don't use fluoride because you brush your teeth with tap water, so, and that has fluoride in it. And I was like, oh, okay. And they were like, that's enough fluoride enough for you. So I'm like, well, why would they put fluoride in toothpaste and have fluoride in the water? And the parents kind of just blew her off. Like, what she said didn't matter. And she even said, like, no one cares about the world as we know it will end. And that's true. Like, children, it's been known that children are more enlightened and more awake than adults, and they can see things better than what adults can see. Like, it even says it somewhere in Revelations, like, children are more awake and they're more aware, and the children that's coming into this generation now are a special kind of children. Like, they are very wise, they're more awakened, and I don't know if it has something to do with technology, but I think it's a spiritual thing as well. And then I got 5 on it, the song came on. The father and the daughter were the only one that was really singing it. I mean, the mom was kind of like, you know, like teaching her son, you know, how to snap his fingers. But what was so weird about it is the mom and the son's relationship. I mean, it was like to convince her to even go to the beach, something she is fearful of. The husband used the son as an excuse to go to the beach, and so that's the only reason why they went to the beach, is because, you know, she was like, okay, all right, well, if it's gonna make Jason, the son, happy, then I'm going to go to the beach. I'm gonna make the sacrifice for my son, which kind of makes me think, like, okay, I don't know, their relationship seemed very like a mother-son type of relationship, and the son had a mask on, and, you know, I think that symbolizes, like, he puts a mask on of things that kind of like hide his face of certain things. He's a little odd. Like, he was building tunnels on the beach instead of sandcastles. So it was kind of like, but then again, you have to think about it. These are half tethered children. Like, they are half clones. You know, their mother was a clone, and now they are half human, half clone, if you really think about it. So maybe he was more in tune with his tethered side, his clone side, than the daughter was. I'm just gonna speculate that. Also, in the beginning when they were at the beach house, at their beach home, you know, Lupita, she was on the couch, and it was like she was having a flashback of herself when she was younger, and she saw the spider coming from a fake spider. Like the fake spider was on the glass and the real spider came from underneath it. And that was a symbolism that something is to come. The real her is about to come into the real world. And that was a symbolism for me because, you know, when the tethered Lupita, and I keep saying her name, Lupita, you know what? Adelaide, okay, sorry. Okay, her name was Adelaide. So Adelaide, the fake Adelaide, was basically laying on the table, pushed down by the tethered Adelaide, well, the untethered Adelaide, because everybody knows that the original Adelaide that we thought that was Adelaide wasn't Adelaide. So, yeah, so she had her face pinned down to the table and it was cracking, and she was literally the fake Adelaide next to the fake spider. Did y'all catch that? Did y'all catch that? Was I the only one that caught that? It was a symbolism there. Basically, the real spider was confronting the fake spider, and the real Adelaide was confronting the fake Adelaide. I just got that from there. Also, her eating strawberries. Everyone else was eating meat. Everyone else was enjoying their burgers and their fast food. And somewhere in the underworld, somewhere in another dimension, I feel like, and this is where veganism is very important. Like, I'm no longer vegan, but I definitely do want to go back to being vegan, or like put just less meat in my diet, because it is a symbolism somewhere of pain and gruesome. Like, we get our meat served to us on a nice little platter. We don't have to think twice about where that meat came from and how that animal had to die in a very cruel manner for us to enjoy this nice, tasty, juicy burger, because this burger had to go through something that we didn't even see. We don't know what that animal has to go through. We're not there when that animal is killed. So I felt like it was like the tethered people when they were eating meat, the untethered people when we were, you know, eating meat, the underground people of clones are eating raw rabbits. And the rabbits, I feel like they use rabbits. A lot of people were confused about the rabbits. A lot of them use rabbits because that is the first symbolism and first thing known to man to clone. The first thing that has been cloned before was a rabbit. Anything that's live that's been cloned has been known to be like rabbits. And they show these cages of rabbits because they're basically being tested in like this classroom type of environment. And then obviously rabbits breed faster, so that's obviously food for the untethered people underground, because they can breed faster and they grow and they just keep breeding, so it's enough food for them to survive down there. Now, when Lupita, when the Adelaide, when the real Adelaide, underground Adelaide came from underground, she told a story. A lot of people were kind of just more focused on her voice and her looks and her, you know, raspy voice, when they weren't really paying attention to what she was saying. She was calling the shadow, the prince. The shadow met a prince, and the prince fell in love with the shadow. She was talking about Adelaide. She was talking about the fake Adelaide, how she fell in love with this man, and how the real Adelaide was forced to be with this, you know, this tethered version of him, and how she given birth to an evil little girl that she did not like. The girl was an evil girl. She came into the world laughing, and also she died laughing. And the son, how she had to cut herself open and born into fire. And, you know, that's why his mouth is all like burned and stuff like that. And he died into fire. A lot of people didn't notice the way that those children came into the world is how they died. So regardless if Adelaide loved him or not, she had to be with the tethered version of the prince, which is Adelaide's husband, Abraham. She had to be forced to be with the tethered version of Abraham. So a lot of people didn't catch on to that. You got to pay real close attention, because she basically said like she has sharp gold objects which I think that they made the scissors out of or whatever, or maybe the scissors were the presents, I don't know, but that made the girl bleed and she didn't get real presents, and how Adelaide basically lived underground in this miserable place, and she could not barely speak because, well, what Lupita was saying is that she used the voice of fear, like when someone's scared so much that they lose their voice, but she was also choked out. So I think her vocal cords were also damaged, and she was the only one who could speak, and that's why she was speaking, but she could barely speak. If you notice in the flashbacks that Adelaide was sitting in the car and her parents were arguing, she was very scared. She was looking around like she didn't know anything about the upper world and rain and storms. She was like, what is this? What's going on? Like, what is this rain? Like, she was very scared. She was very frightened. She couldn't speak because the tethered people cannot speak. They don't know anything. They were left there. Basically, they were a government experiment, and which I think that is very true. Like, what is going on underground? Like, are our subconscious minds underground, and what we're living above is basically a projection and a dimension, like a computer systemized world where it's not real, and our underground subconscious mind is somewhere else because the world probably destroyed itself. I've had these conversations too, and that gets a little deep because the person that I went to see the movie with the first time is a really, really deep thinking person, and I'm so glad I saw it with this person because I saw things differently than that person did, and then we were like talking about it after, and I was like, wow, this is pretty deep. Like, these underground tunnels, like, what were they used for, and why are they there, and what use will they have for us in the future? And it's been known that other civilization has been found underneath these ground tunnels. What are they planning? You know, we don't know what they're planning. We don't know if they're like what's to come, if they see something that we don't see. Like, it is very, very, very scary if you really kind of think about it. Now, oh, and then she also doesn't drink. She eats fruits and she doesn't drink because she knows how that affects her other darker side of herself, her other side of herself. Also, if you notice when they were walking on the beach, the family, when they were walking, these shadows were so huge. Like, it was kind of like a reflection of the shadows that Adelaide described when she was telling her story. Like, when she was walking on the beach, this is what their shadows were doing as well. They were walking like as if they're going to the beach. You know, they're tethered together, but the soul only goes to one. They share, they're tethered, but only once. The soul cannot be transferred. There cannot be more than two souls. One soul is very unique, and you're only gonna have one soul of yourself, regardless if you're cloned or not. Yes, so also when Adelaide was on the beach and she just had this, like, everything is synchronized. Like, 1111 is known for it being synchronized and the symbolism of awakening, and she kept seeing this number, and it was like an awakening at Jeremiah 11:11, which basically means like they may call on us but no one will help us, which is true because when they tried to call the police, no one was there. They tried to rely on technology like Ophelia, and she failed them. Basically, it was a symbolism, which Ophelia is basically Alexa, is that we depend so much on technology and others during destruction and the world ending. It's kind of like when those things don't come through, what do? And Adelaide was like, we just run. That's all we fight and we run. Okay, so also when back to the blue circle, when they were on the beach and the son, Jason, went to go use the restroom, and she had a feeling that Jason was too far away from her, and when they tossed the, I can't think of the name of the frisbee, yeah. So when they tossed the frisbee and it landed on that blue circle as she picks it up, it landed perfectly on a blue circle. It was synchronized with something of the same form and shape. And it let Adelaide know everything is being synchronized up to this point, that her real self her untethered self is soon to come after her. People don't know that blue is a symbolism of spirituality, dual spirituality. So it kind of made sense to see that, because it's like these signs were lining up to her feeling like she's coming after her, because she knows what she's done. She knows what she's done. Also, you know, the bond that the mother freaked out, but I would have freaked out too, because first of all, like, I'm protective of my son, so I don't really find that weird that she kind of went a little crazy about it. But she was very, very, very protective of Jason, which kind of like makes me question their relationship more so than the daughter. Like, she was very protective over her son. And also, daughter was also hooked on technology. She was not paying attention to any of her surroundings. And if you also notice that when once one tethered person, the untethered people, the people above ground, when they had a weakness, that was the tethered person's strength. So the husband, let's just get into it with him. He was so annoying to me. He was very annoying. He basically was just like very weak as a man, an educated black man, very smart intellect, but he did not get it. Like, he did not get it. And what I want to say is Adelaide was trying to warn her husband, and he was very like nonchalant and very kind of like blowing her off. Like, I'm the man, I know what I'm doing, I know what's going on, like, I'm not worried about nothing, you shouldn't be worried about anything. And it was kind of like, man, like, what, he was whitewashed. Like, his blackness was kind of like not there, and it wasn't there until he got scared when the family showed up outside the home, where he was like, okay, y'all want to get crazy, we could get crazy. And it's like, oh, where did that come from? It was like, at first he was like, hello, we don't have anything, there's something we can help you. And then it was like, oh, what's good? No, dude, don't try to play yourself, because the real other person was very strong, and he was looking at you like, you're just an embarrassment to me. And he was also blind and couldn't see that well. And the you know, the untethered Abraham had glasses, and that's why he kind of looked at the glasses like, oh, I could see, you know. But he was very weak, and he was very annoying, and I guess he was supposed to be the light humor of the movie, but I didn't really find him funny at all. I found him very annoying, and that he could not direct and lead his family. It was like he was so whitewashed and so privileged, he did not know how to defend his family. He was an educated black man, very wealthy, like, you know. And what does that represent for our black men, our educated black men? Do they lose their blackness? Do they lose their, you know, he was trying to impress his white friends so much, and it was just like, where did he lose himself? He lost his, you know, masculinity in a way. You know, both of these men were not very masculine or strong. They did not pay attention to their wives. Their wives, women, let me just say this, women sensed danger before the men did. And the wife even tried to warn her husband, somebody's walking around in our house, and he was just like, oh, it was a squirrel. Really? And the wife was like, no, go check it out, like, be the protector, go find out, like, these men could have protected their families if they would have just listened to their wives. Because the wife sensed the danger. Like, women, it was kind of like women were more awake than the men in the movie. The men were very like, oh, I'm the man, I call the shots, I know what I'm talking about, I know what I'm doing. And it was just kind of like, no, you don't, because your family is in danger. Also, let's see, the white guy on the beach, when he was on, I know I'm skipping around everywhere, but these are just my notes. He had the shirt on that's called, like, it said fragile. And I kind of thought of it like, what does that say about the white man and their, you know, that they're fragile? Like, you can't offend them, you can't say anything bad about them. It was like a black shirt in white, and it said fragile. I don't know, what do you guys think that means? Comment below and let me know, what do you think that mean, and what that symbolism mean for white men. And also, did you notice that the women were more awake and aware of what was going on? And how did you feel about that? And what do you think about that? Also, what made me feel like the son was switched out is that the husband was like, when he was scared, and he was like, go get the bat. Go get the bat. And the daughter knew exactly where to go get the bat. And the son was like, what bat? everybody knew where the bat was except the son. And if they've been there and they've been going to that vacation house for years, how did he not know where the bat was but the sister knew? That's what made me think that he wasn't the real version of himself. Also, the White family just, again, heavily depended on Ophelia, and Ophelia basically failed them. And I noticed that the son, and I could be wrong, but when they were choosing their weapons, the son picked up amethyst, an amethyst crystal, to use as his weapon. And yeah, I don't know what that kind of means. Maybe you can comment below and let me know what that meant to you and what amethyst probably means. Actually, we can look up what is amethyst. Amethyst crystal is a natural stress reliever and encourages inner strength and peace. Amethyst crystals are said to bring wealth and invoke strong business. Its color is meant to symbolize royalty as well, and maybe privilege. A lot of people try to compare it to classism. Yes, these people were very privileged and they took advantage of a lot of the things above them. They took advantage of the world. They took advantage of the things above them. They didn't appreciate things. And yeah, we were all like trying to fix ourselves, or either on our phone or not really, or trying to impress each other and impress each other's friends, where we weren't really coming together as the United States. And it was only affecting the United States, by the way. But yeah, I just noticed that he used that as his weapon, and I felt like it was a symbolism behind the weapon that he had compared to everybody else's. And the son, you know, like a lot of people said that, you know, he started to notice who his mother really was when she started making these grunting noises, and like the same grunting noises that the untethered people would make. And he was kind of like looking at his mom like, who are you? Who are you? You know, also, I feel like the classroom symbolizes that maybe they were trying to control the people above the underground. They were trying to control the underground people in a classroom and teach them things. There were chalkboards there. There were things that, you know, they had to chalk and stuff like that. Maybe they were supposed to teach them like a classroom, and maybe like program them, and like programming. Maybe that's what our school systems is, that they program us to, you know, they educate us with what they want to educate us with and the things that they want us to talk about. So they want us to think about and believe about our history and what really went down in history and all this other stuff. So I kind of felt like a little bit like that's kind of like programming, but they weren't able to control the people above, so they abandoned the people below, underground, and they depended on Adelaide, the real Adelaide, to... Okay, so my camera kind of like overheated. I don't know, still working with it. Anyway, don't mind my shirt in the background. I am about to get ready to go to work, but I just want to wrap up a couple of other things. When Adelaide came to rescue her son, she asked Jason, like, it's okay now, like, I'm here. And he was kind of like, she was hugging him and embracing him, and he was like this. Because I don't know what the real Adelaide told him. Like, y'all, like, she could have really actually told him what was going on. Like, I mean, she could talk, so it's not like... And then she didn't harm him. She grabbed him and didn't harm him. She lured her into the thing, so... And then, like, if you notice, she knew exactly where to go. Like, the fake Adelaide knew exactly where to go. So the son, when she hugged him and she said, I'm going to protect you. She said, they can't hurt you anymore. And she said, do you understand that? And he said, no. He said, mm-mm. And that's because he knew who his mother was, and that the truth of everything is being revealed to him. And he's like, no, like, I don't feel protected. And also, towards the end, and what do you think by that? Do you think he kind of caught on to his mind by then? And then towards the end, when they were riding in the car and Adelaide, the fake Adelaide, had the flashback of her replacing the real Adelaide, and everybody kind of caught on like, oh wow, she's not the real her, which caught me by surprise too, because I thought the son was really switched out, not the Adelaide girl. He had a rabbit in his hand, Did you guys notice that? He had one of the white rabbits in his hand and he was like holding it and protecting it. Why would you take one of the rabbits from there? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too deep into it, but what do you guys think that symbolizes? Maybe what the rabbit symbolizes, maybe that he was taking one of the tethered rabbits above ground, saving at least one, you know, I don't know. And also the hands around the world symbolism and how they were basically, some people say it represented the red wall. I don't really feel like it had anything to do with Trump. I don't feel like it had anything to do with that, but I did have to point out that the jumpsuits were red and they symbolized jailhouse jumpsuits. Basically, these people are in jail. Maybe they're going to revolt. This also could have symbolized to a lot of people that lower class people will revolt against the upper class people and people who take their life for granted and take their privilege for granted and basically rise above. But Jordan Peele did point out and say that this was more so us. This was us. This was a darker version of yourself. However you perceive it, like the best thing about this movie is you're gonna perceive it different ways. But one of the things that originally was made about this movie is that it is ourselves and how we feed ourselves, treat ourselves, what we do to ourselves. If we have surgery on ourselves and we scar up our face and inject certain things, we are probably affecting another self of us in a different dimension and mistreating ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't eat healthy, so the other self has to eat unhealthy and in a savage way, because like I said, we get our meat served to us on a nice gold platter, and in reality we're really just tearing these animals apart and eating them. So what do you guys think? Do you think, what did you perceive about the movie? Are you still confused? Did you catch on to a lot of these signs? Was your third eye open to a lot of this, and did you see a lot of symbolism? Is there anything that I missed probably that I didn't catch? And this is my second time seeing it. I just saw it last night with a couple of friends of mine after I saw it the first time, because I really wanted to make sure that I took notes this time and I was accurate about stuff. I saw a lot of people in the theater laughing like, oh no, it's not like a scary, it wasn't a scary movie to me. It was more of a thriller. It wasn't something where I was jumping out of my seat and scared, going home scared. It had me thinking very, very, very deeply, and a lot of life decisions that I want to make for myself as well. So I don't know, let me know below. I don't want this to be too long. I think hopefully it's not too long, but thank you guys for watching. And if you haven't already, go and like and subscribe to my channel for more content and videos. And also follow me on social media at Brittany Nashay on my Instagram. That's the only place that I really am actively on, where you can follow me and keep updated with whatever I got going on in my life. So thank you guys for watching. Bye.